Today I would like to take a moment to talk about the concept of empathy in relation to road rage. I recently, maybe a little bit over a month ago, had orientation for my current job, and it was 2 weeks long, and one of the biggest concepts they have there, with good reason, is emotional regulation. And we were all asked how we deal with our emotions, particularly frustration and anger and, sadness, but mostly frustration. And when it came to me, I answered that with talking about how I meditate through my frustration. And a little bit later, someone had raised their hand and asked me directly, how do you meditate through road rage? Like, how do you be okay with someone cutting you off or, going too slow? And I was really, really glad that they asked this because I was kind of hoping someone would. I was hoping to get this message out to these people because it's really important, but also very helpful to think of things in this way, at least for me. So empathy is more than, putting yourself in someone's shoes and trying to act like you can understand where they come from. It's more than that because it's an understanding of you know nothing. You know absolutely nothing. And you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. Like, no matter how much you think you know, you still know nothing. So I talked about road rage and how, first of all, I'm not perfect. I used to have pretty bad road rage, as I think a lot of us do when we're new to the open road. When we're 16 and still so naive and young and in our emotions, especially, it's easy to yell and scream and curse and drive like a maniac and be really not safe on the road. And for our safety and others, that's really in our best interest to learn how to fix that because road rage is really unhealthy. And it is something that we can work on. So in terms of empathy, I said picture that someone cuts you off or someone's going too slow, right? Whatever the issue is, you have to put yourself in a frame of mind of thinking about all the different possibilities as to why this person driving is driving that the way that they are. And it doesn't really matter if you go up really close to see who's driving and like judge their age or like why they might be driving that way. It doesn't really matter if you're screaming behind your wheel and trying to just let that frustration penetrate them somehow. They're never going to hear it. Beeping your horn bothers everyone around you more than it bothers that person. I can almost guarantee it. It probably bothers who's ever in your car too. Beeping and yelling and screaming, these are just projections of your emotions, which you are now taking your energy and wasting that precious energy by trying to release it in a negative way. Where you could be trying to be a little more empathetic about why this person is driving the way they are and calm your mind and realize that it's not worth your energy. First of all, it's not really fixing the problem. The problem is done. The problem is now you dealing with the aftermath or dealing with the fact you're going to be late somewhere or whatever the case is. But in all instances of road rage, it's better to learn how to calm yourself and learn how to continue that practice of calmness and just be strong. Be strong in your meditation about it. And meditation is a scary term to people, but it's not really that complicated. It can be a lot more complicated than this, but meditation is, in this regard, taking the situation and thinking through your emotions, where they come from, what the real issue is, and how to go about realizing that the calm demeanor is the best way to get through it. And when we meditate on empathy in this type of context, we try to think about where that person might be coming from. Not that we'll know, because we won't. We won't know the whole story about anything, okay? Always keep that in mind, because that will get you through this, I promise. When you start to think about, like, for example, the person driving really slowly, all the different possibilities of this person driving slow, which none of these possibilities even matter. But realizing the infinite possibilities of that situation, you can find peace in knowing that you just don't know. And you shouldn't care, because it doesn't matter. What matters is getting through these emotions that are blocking you from being calmer through the situation, right? This could be someone who's 15 or 16 and brand new to the road. It could be someone who's very old to the road, right? They're just a really old person with bad eyesight now. Could be someone who can't hear or see through their peripheral vision. It could be someone who just got a speeding ticket. It could be someone who's in a tremendous amount of pain or suffering or loss, who's crying behind that wheel. It could, or a drug charge, or is high right now. You know, you just don't know. And then the people cutting you off, you know, maybe they're in a rush. Maybe they didn't see you. Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they don't care how you feel. Think about that. And guess what? How you feel is all about here and has nothing to do with that person. So when you do start to think of it in terms of not only do you not understand how others are feeling or functioning in life right now, they also don't know how it's affecting you. And a lot of the time they don't care. We're all kind of just thinking about ourselves, right? I mean, we should strive not to do that. We should really be trying to think about others as well. But it's not a big surprise if I tell you that these people who are cutting you off or going really slow, they're not really caring about where you have to be or if you're in danger now because of their bad, road habits. And if they do care, they'll try to fix it. Maybe they'll wave to you or say thank you through the window or pull over so you can pass them. They'll do something, right? But ultimately, we are in control of our own emotions, our frustrations, our fears and anxieties, our sadness. We're in control of all of that. Or at least we could be if we had that mental capacity to realize that empathy is the only thing that's really going to get us to a point of calmness. I don't have road rage anymore. I've had my speeding ticket. I've had my fair share of road rage, and I've realized that not only do I not know the reality of everyone else on the road, but that it doesn't matter what their reality is. It matters what my reality is. And if I don't have control of my emotions or what I'm doing on the road, then I'm out of control. It's not about anyone else. So when I bring my emotions to a point where nothing else on the outside can really affect them, where I'm just kind of in my peace, and whatever happens on that road, it's going to happen. And I just remember that what's important is how I'm reacting or responding, which is what we should really be striving for, not reacting at all, because reacting is that monkey mind that says, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm hurt, I'm frustrated, and this is how I'm going to take it out. I'm going to scream and yell and punch my horn. But yeah, listen, we just have to always remember that we don't know what other people are going through, and we never really will. There's a big story behind every driver, behind every person in the world. There's a big story for why they behave the way they do. And no matter how much you think you know or can see, it's just a glimpse or a couple glimpses. You really don't know. You do not know. There's a big difference. You can catch glimpses, but you just don't know. So keep that in mind. And I think you will have a much better time on the road in trying to control those emotions, because you'll realize that it's all about you. It's all about how you control yourself. Be a defensive driver. Always be on the defense, okay? But do not be that person that needs to take out their anger on everyone else on the road and be a danger to yourself and others. It pays off to be calm, I promise you.